My name's Bruce. Long story short, my father-in-law hates me. I wanted to get married to his daughter Eva. It turns out that my father-in-law doesn't like me because of my ethnicity. So he goes and tries to frame me, set me up and make me look like a bad guy, but you guys will not believe what he tried to frame me with. I'll jump into that first, but I need to tell you guys this. It didn't really work out as he expected. I could not possibly believe that my father-in-law, whom I trusted with all my heart, did such a demeaning thing to break my marriage with my loving fiancé. I have made the worst fate in my life that taught me a great deal in life, though. I don't know what to make of this undulating affair thing that's been framed by my virtuous father-in-law, who is not so upright at all. This has left me stranded in the middle of nowhere as my fiancée, Eva, left me right before some 3 days before our wedding ceremony, growing suspicious of me for dating my own colleague behind her back, and that is all nothing but a well-planned piece of fiction, entertained by my father-in-law nonetheless. Eva, too, would not have believed William at first, if he had not carried along the very proof of the involvement with her. It was a few images and videos of me making out with my office colleague that felt all too real and yet so convincing that even I was taken by surprise to find myself in those visual records. I was not able to make anything out of those videos and images, as it was exactly me who was being showcased right then and there, and it made me doubt my own conscience for a bit, as I too believed it to be true for some time. So now I'm just all deserted, and have no clue on how to prove my innocence in front of my fiancé. Eva and everyone around me who thinks of me as a pleasure-seeking individual, which I am really not, well, here I need the support and suggestion of all of you people, as I believe that only you guys could help me out on this even situation. So, let me give you guys a brief description of the real situation before, just to get a hold of everything. We started dating each other a few months after being close friends, sharing our grudges and other resentments for our partners and other friends together. She was certainly the best close friend that I had in my whole life, and, well, we both were introduced to each other by a common friend, and after that we went on to share some of the hardest times together. I remember an instance where I slipped so deep into depression after my father left me, and my mother all alone to marry some young lady from his office. It left me really broke, and I was not able to get a hold of the situation. It was then that I found solace in her company. She would spend hours with me, trying to indulge in conversation with me over various affairs in general, as a way of getting me out of that intoxicating condition. I also took care of her whenever she needed me in dire need. Eva had this very thing with her relationship from the beginning itself. She could not seem to get along with someone for quite long, and you would imagine by this that there was something inside her that possibly repelled everyone from her. But believe me when I say that she was perfect in every sense. Her presence and very being was so captivating that it could possess even the feudal beings around. It was amazing to be around her and indulge in her thought-provoking ideas about life. Eva was notably the best partner and mate that I could have ever imagined being around. Though the real problem rested with all those guys who have left her with nothing but heartbreak. She really tried to get along with every one of them, but they were not really just interested in being with her for very long. They were just some pleasure seekers seeking individuals. I guess it could be because of the sheer misfortunes that she had in respect to dating. How not even a single guy got attached to her all this time. There was her previous boyfriend, who went along quite well with her, actually. She had some real feelings for her that, well, confronted me with it. And even we two suspected similar things from her boyfriend, and I was really happy for her that at last she got what she readily deserved in life. Though, This thing did not last much longer, as we discovered one day that he had been in a serious relationship with some other girl for this whole time. It was her boyfriend who confronted all the details to us while we were relaxing at the cafe. He confessed that he pretended to love Eva all this time, as he did not want to upset her by knowing it all. He was a really nice guy who really cared about her too, though he got in love with some other girl. The breakup shattered her from the inside and had a deep impact on her thinking. She started believing that all her relationship failures were because of some lacking in her, which was ridiculous as she was the perfect being that I've encountered in my life. I tried to comfort her and massage her the real things about all those guys, though she was not to listen to any of my words at all. She was completely out of control and became more dejected as the time unfolded. I wanted to confess to her my real feelings for her that I had developed over the time. Yet I feared what she would make of it, as she might not think that I did so because of feeling pity for her. It was better for her to change the environment, so she went to William's place for a while. He cared a lot about her single daughter, and he was the one who raised her after her mother died in some car accident. So, after some time, she got back from William, and now she seemed quite upright. I just guessed that she might have forgotten about the breakup thing, and it would not have been really easy for her. It takes courage to get over a breakup that leaves you dejected from every single angle. What would have come of her after getting so many setbacks in her life? I waited for a few days to confess my real feelings to her. I knew that she would be so delighted to know it, and I was quite right. She glowed with joy as I told her that I really love her. After that, we dated for about 8 straight months. We two came to know that we were almost perfect for each other, and it was certainly the best time that I had spent with her. It was the longest that she had been with someone, and it made her feel all good. I could sense that, well, an old attitude in her came back as she went along with me, and it made her more adorable and charming than ever. Everything was going perfect between us two. It was then that we got the idea to marry and spent the rest of the time together. I knew that she was the perfect match for me, and I could not withhold anyone apart from her my whole life. And I knew that she felt the same way for me as well. Now that all her suspicions about her very being have vanished, she was the same girl once again, who enjoyed every moment with full excitement. Eva took it to ask William, who she thought would be so pleased to hear about, and she was quite right about it. The news made her bounce with excitement, and he wanted to meet in person, so he called us to his home in this very beautiful vicinity. Everything seemed to go as we had expected. We did not know what was ahead, though. He was really delighted to get a hold of us together, and we became just sharing our experiences and other accounts with him. It was when I withheld the information about my origin that made him feel low about me, and I somehow sensed it from his expression that he did not like me that much because of my ethnicity. I have felt this same thing from many people in general who are quite receptive towards other religions in general, and Eva's father's reaction was no different to that. I really thought back then that it would just get away with time, as he would come to know me, and I really have not thought even once that this would bring me great trouble in my relationship with Eva afterwards. After much struggle, Eva finally succeeded in persuading her father for our marriage. It looks as if he did not have any resolve but to agree for our marriage. He seemed also delighted about it, and though I sensed that he had other motives behind it that were reflected in his eyes, I was really excited for my marriage, as it was all that I wanted in that moment in my life. We two planned everything from the destination to decorations and heck, even the cakes. I even called my mother, and she was really pleased to get a hold of Eva at first. She was really delighted for our wedding and had a lot of aspirations for it, and everything seemed to go as we had planned it. Our wedding day was fast approaching, and we were all engaged in calling our friends and arranging the settings for it. Though I found my father-in-law wasted and some other work. to which he replied that it had something to do with his work. He grew restless over something, and that was clear in her talking as he confronted someone on the phone. I took it to Eva to ask her about it, and shockingly, she did not have any idea what he was really up to. Yet, she assured me that it had something to do with his farm that he owns in the countryside. I knew that it was something else that worried him that much, though I went along with the preparation and I just forgot about it. Well, it was now our wedding day, and I was absolutely looking forward to starting my new life with Eva. And I was really not able to believe it all, as I have not, really thought of just once that I could get such a pleasing mate in my life. Eva looked like an angel in that beautiful dress and was carried to the hall by her friends. I was accompanied by some of my close friends as well, who brought me to the stage. My mother was standing there in front of us, witnessing our ceremony from the front row. I was not able to sight Eva's father, as he was nowhere to be seen there, though I didn't care much about him, as I was focused on Eva, who was also pleased over our wedding. It was the moment that we've been waiting for and in awe for a very long time. Just as we were about to begin the rituals, we were interrupted by my father-in-law, who had something important to show us before the rituals. He claimed that it was related to me and that Eva needs to be seeing this before she moves forward with me. He was carrying his phone that had something in it which kept on showing to Eva. She got hold of the required thing. She grew intensive and worried about it. I wasn't able to see what made her so worried, so I broke them in between to find the images and videos that my father-in-law carried with him. Featured me with one of my colleagues, and it sent me to a whole new level to find that the clips and footage showed me were just getting along with her. I was so clueless for some time, as I was not able to recall me having such a close relationship with my colleague. Still, those images and footage were quite clear in describing the whole thing. It did not take much time for Eva to back off from the marriage instantly, right then and there, and she actually started blaming me for cheating on her this whole time. She was totally convinced that I've been cheating her for quite some time, and she disclosed to me that I'm no different from every other guy who's cheated on her and left her for some other woman. She was shocked from the inside, and this had affected her health instantly. She was not able to withstand this whole thing and fell off the stage due to sudden demise in her health. William had no idea that this whole thing would lead to such a declining effect on Eva's health. Otherwise, he would not have pulled this deceiving stunt in front of her right there. I was equally worried about her health, so was everyone else who was witnessing to this surreal drama unfolding here. Everyone, including her friends and relatives, were blaming me for cheating her so badly after the trust that she showed me. I was trying to confront everyone there, and I said that I had no clue how these images showed me, and that the girl in such this intimate affair, as I don't recall engaging in any intimate relationship with any of my colleagues. But none was adamant to believe me this whole time, and at that time I was not very much interested in entertaining the feelings and thinking of the people there. Rather, I was engaged in helping Eva to recover from the nervous attack that she most probably had fallen into. So, I called the ambulance and tried to admit her to the hospital as soon as possible, and I was accompanied by my father-in-law, who had forgotten all about other things and was equally concerned about Eva's recovery. As we reached the hospital, the doctors assured us that it was nothing serious, and that it all happened as she received a sudden nervous breakdown from some significant incident. I knew what was really the cause of her condition, though. It was the grief that she received after hearing that I had deceived her for some other girl who worked at my office, though I knew it was all framed by my father-in-law, who had some real things going on with him all this while. Now, we both were quite relieved to hear that there was not much to worry about with her health. It was then that my father-in-law asked me to keep away from Eva after what I have done to her. He had no guilt in saying such demeaning words to me, nor did he feel anything for initiating this deceiving act. that significantly led to Eva's ill health. Instead, he was holding me responsible for the whole darn incident. I tried to assuage him that I love his daughter so much and that I simply could not possibly cheat her with any girl at all. Though he undermined my appeal and kept on pressing me to move away from her, as I might worsen her health condition. He urged me to leave the place instantly, as Eva must not get a hold of me after she regains consciousness. This fact troubled me even more, as I did not wish to pose a threat to her, and all I really wanted at that moment was her well-being. Yet I wanted to plead to her that I have not cheated her with any other girl in any way. I just wanted that one chance to reveal my plight in front of her, as I did not get the chance after her health conditions depleted, knowing of my false affair. Now, I'm left all deserted from this whole mishap. The thing that troubles me more is the fact that Eva really hates me for cheating on her with my colleague, which is significantly nothing but a story made up by my father-in-law. I have not imagined this even in my nightmares that I would be the cause of her trouble, but it deceivingly somehow happened. Though I have no clue as to how he gathered those false images and clips of me with my colleague, I pretty much guess that all of this has something to do with this hatred that he has towards me for belonging to a different ethnicity. This is all bullcrap. I mean, how could someone be so ridiculous towards another ethnicity? Moreover, her actions and allegations have even affected her own daughter itself, as she got a nervous breakdown from the sudden setback. Eva's condition makes me even more dejected, and I cannot bear the fact that she thinks of me in the same way as she thinks all those other guys who cheated her or deceived her before to be with some other girl. And now she has fallen to that same state in which she was before when she got betrayed by her then boyfriend. Still, she blames herself for the betrayals that she had in all her relationships, and the worst thing is that I've caused her a fresh wound that have caused her a terrible heartbreak, and I have no faults as I'm being framed by my father-in-law who has done all this. I know it. I need to help. Well, I need it. I need help from you people on this platform, as I cannot frame my next step as Eva's blocked me from all of social media, and William does not allow me to meet with her. A suggestion from you all in this context would be great help, just to me installing my relationship with my loving girlfriend, Eva, and how I could possibly expose Eva's father who had framed all of this deceiving acts. What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Oh boy, this father-in-law is nuts. I mean, if he really did frame OP just for being another ethnicity, what is wrong with him? I have 3 updates for you guys, so we're going to see exactly what happens. If you're new to the channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button for daily videos. Thank you for that, and let's jump into update number 1. It's been about 3 weeks since the incident took place in my wedding ceremony that's left me stranded. I have never thought that such a thing could be framed by someone against me. It has destroyed the beautiful relationship that I had with Eva, and it had an acute effect on her as well, leaving her in the worst situation. She had an absolute nervous breakdown after hearing about the alleged affair, and it's caused her to develop anxiety and stress that she had experienced previously when she had a setback with her previous boyfriend. Now, her situation's getting even worse, and she keeps thinking that she's the reason behind all her relationship failing. She believes that she has some lacking in her that repels every other being away from her. This has intensified her condition and has even resulted in depression. Deep depression. Now, she spends her time all alone and she does not really indulge in any conversation at all with anyone. As you guys suggested on here, I tried to meet her a number of times, though she refused to talk to me at all. One day, as I was coming back from my office, I got a hold of her near the subway, and I followed her some distance trying to talk with her over the real things about all these affairs. As I reached her, she moved away from me and urged me to get out of her life and never show my face to her ever again. Though she confronted me that she had not expected such notorious behavior from me, as she had a huge respect for me. Later on, she said that it is all her fault, as she has something wrong with her that is the reason why everyone leaves her. This troubled me more, knowing that she rests all of these things on herself. Hearing all these things, I pulled myself away from her and stood there for a while as she moved from there. This was not the only incident where she turned me away. Before it, I went to her office and waited for hours outside it trying to talk to her over the matter, and though she did not reply to any of my appeals of meeting with her, instead she called out the security guards to send me away from there. Apart from it, I sent her messages by friends and her colleagues asking her to please forgive me for the whole thing and just persuade her that it was not my fault and that I've always been loyal to her and have never thought of loving anybody else. But she instantly ripped apart these messages that I've sent to her without even gazing at them once. After the incident where she appealed me to stay away from her, I lost all hope of getting her back in my life and held it tight that I would not cross her path ever again. There was a number of instances where I came across her in the subway and some other spaces, and though I turned myself away from her so that she does not get reminded of all that again, I simply wish that she would get over this thing with time and move further on in her life. Update number 2. 2 weeks later. Hey guys, so it's been about 2 weeks since I confronted Eva on the subway where she urged me to not approach her, and her condition and mental state forbid me from getting closer to her ever again. There were a number of times when I came across her, though I let her away as I did not want to affect her feelings yet again, and now I had no hope of getting her back in my life. Still, when I think of her, I got tears in my eyes due to her suffering that she has gone through because of this whole thing. Even though there was no fault of mine, I suffered a great deal of distress from this event considerably. It was raining heavily one day and I was leaving my office, and the roads were submerged with water and there were frequent storms in between that were making the situation worse. I forgot my phone at my office and was moving to my house, and I got a hold of someone who resembled much of Eva. I pressed on following her without me getting noticed, and after a while I found that she was not Eva and was somebody else. It might, I don't know, have been because of the storm that I confused her with Eva, or maybe it was some other thing, I forget it, and went further to catch my train. There, I was shocked to find Eva, who was waiting on the bench, and it was the same place where I would often stand to get on the train, and it felt to me as if she was waiting for someone there. I was looking at her as it was after weeks that I have got a hold of her, and she looked quite restless to me, and her breath was moving fast. Seeing her there, I got reminded of my previous days with her, and yet I refrained from moving towards her. So, as she saw me there, she jumped with excitement towards me. I was frozen by her movement and had no clue of it at all. For a moment, I thought that it was a dream that I was having on my way back home. She came towards me and confronted me as to where I had been. Well, she told me that she's been trying to contact me this entire time. She tried calling my phone, yet I did not answer, and she even tried reaching my office, but it was already closed. I checked my pocket to find that I had forgotten my phone inside my office, and I asked her the reason as to why she's been chasing me. Though I was really fascinated by her sudden attention towards me, I wasn't able to figure out the reason for it. She was in tears to hear my question, and she kept on apologizing to me that she feels really terrible for doing this bad thing to me. She said that she found the reality behind the false accusations that was made by William, and it made her regret her thoughts and feelings. Well, I tried to assuage her that she had no fault in that and that her reaction the other day was quite normal, though she was not able to forgive her mistakes of believing William and the other images that he had shown her. So, She confessed to me that she should have given me at least a chance to prove my innocence, and I embraced her in my arms and comforted her by saying that I'd forgiven her for all the things that happened that day. After a bit of time, I asked her how she got to know that I was being truthful to her. It was then that she disclosed to me that she met with the girl that was there in the images and clips that William had disclosed to her the other day. Eva found the girl going along with some other guy, and there she was, finding herself following them. This grew suspicion in Eva as she thought that the girl was trying to cheat on me with the other guy, and after that Eva confronted the girl there as to why she's cheating on me. After much confrontation, the girl confessed to Eva that she never had anything to do with me. After that, Eva showed her the images that Eva's father had presented to us in the other day, and to it, the girl replied that they were all completely false, photoshopped, and have no backing at all. I was really fortunate to have Eva back in my life and trusting me, and the things between me and Eva were getting back to the position where they were before. Update number 3. This is the final post by OP. Wow, so 2 days have passed since I met Eva on the subway, where she confronted me with the real details that she found from my previous colleague, who was framed the image presented by Eva's father. I was with her these 2 days in my apartment as the rains were not getting away any sooner and giving us surreal time to relax and watch the weather and get along with each other after this long breakup. So, the other day we were both together and just to go and confront father-in-law for the whole thing that he had back to me, then to keep away from Eva. He was waiting for us in the hall as he was trying to call her for 2 days, but she constantly ignored her calls altogether. As we became there, he became shocked and angry to have me there in his home yet again, in a ridiculous manner. He asked Eva that, quote, "What was I doing here in his home? And how come she had let me come there after what he did to me back then?" His ridiculous behavior was quite hard to take for the two of us, and so she directly confronted all the details that she gathered from the girl who was presented me with the video. He drew himself away as he heard about it, and though she kept on pressing him to give her the real reason as to why he framed me in such a deceiving act, after much persuasion, he confessed to planning this whole thing against me. You see, William said that he does not like me at all, and he was quite paranoid of me getting married to his daughter. So, he followed me to the office one day, and there he collected some images of me and that girl over there, and after that, he took help from some photographer, who merged the images and videos together in a rather inappropriate manner. After hearing the whole confession from William, Eva gets enraged, and after that she bursted on William. She held him, saying that his actions have affected her terribly and that she went into deep depression after this whole thing was revealed by him. I too wanted to add a lot of things, but I somehow controlled my anger, and I just let Eva handle it, who grew over-aggressive of her father for causing her this much trouble. Though William was not getting the whole thing, and he kept on saying that she should just, not get along with me, as I should not be trusted because of my ethnicity. This comment from him broke my control, and I withheld for a while, but I said that he should not come in between me and Eva anymore. After that, we left the place. Eva told him that she would not be having any relationship with him after that, and I too disclosed to him that we were going to get married in 2 days' time and he would not be allowed there. So, we both married each other in a great setting where all our friends and some relatives were invited. And William tried a lot to contact Eva, but she refused to talk or receive any messages from him. He was feeling really remorseful for her actions, yet she did not entertain any of his appeals. So, it seemed quite justified to me after all that time that we two went through. Because of his misdeed, we too were left apart from each other and had a discerning effect on Eva's mental well-being. And I think we did it all good just to keep away from his obnoxious feelings towards our relationship. Our wedding ceremony was quite amazing, and we two loved it thoroughly. After that, we went on a honeymoon vacation to our nearby coastal city for about 3 days. Later on, Eva came to know from some of her childhood friends that her father was forced to move back from his property in the city, as everyone in their neighborhood broke ties with him for his respective actions that broke our relationship and made Eva suffer so much. He could not withstand all that ignorance from his neighbors and moved to the countryside where he owned some lands. I was assured to hear all of that, and, well, as somehow he was going to pay for his misdeeds. That was it. So I felt so bad for Eva in the story, because not only did she have to go through breakup and betrayal over and over from all the people in her life, she ultimately had to go through a fake heartbreak from OP before she realized the truth, and then she had to go through a heartbreak from her father, who, would go behind her back and make up all these accusations and lies and put her through all this depression. It was ridiculous, and that's why he is the a-hole of the story. But I do want to hear from you guys, what exactly you thought about it. What would you have even done if you were in OP's position and you come to find out all these lies about you, and the wedding was having to be canceled just because of your father-in-law, William? So drop your comments down below, guys. I'll see you in the comment section. And if you're new to the channel, my name's Mr. Reddito. I narrate stories every single day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hit that subscribe button, but do remember, it's cool to be kind. See ya.